Hello. I am the original Moskvitch 412. Also called 2140 in 1975 prior to discontinuation and 1500 SL outside USSR, is a small family car produced by Soviet manufacturer ZMA/AZELK from 1967 to 1976. It was also built as the IZ 412 IICH in Izhevsk from 1967 to 1982 and replaced by the spun-off IZ Kumi series thereafter. The 412, although featuring many flaws gradually fixed with its replacement, was one of the best-known third-generation Moskvitches and, until 1974, the best-selling car in the history of AZELK. Basically, Moskvitch 412 was an upgrade of the 408 model in terms of engine features, as much as the second-generation M403 was an upgrade of the 402 over 407. Falsely, both cars are often considered as one chain of succession, which is incorrect since the 412 was in planned development before the 408 production began, simply offering more features to the driver for more expenses. Unlike 407, the car was made affordable by the absence of concurrency in many Eastern Bloc countries besides its own relative, the 408. The 1500cc was a slant inline-4 engine. Block, head and inlet manifold were aluminium castings. Steel cylinder liners were replaceable to enable easy repair of the engine instead of having to replace it entirely. The same engine was used on Moskvitch cars until the 6th generation 2142. In 1969 both the 412 and the related 408 had their body and tail lights redesigned. These were notable for being the first Moskvitch models to feature square headlights and vertical rear lights and triangular turn signals, which passed on to the 2138 over 2140 in 1976. Until then, the 412 profited from heightened tail fins and tan headlight lamps on export models. Another notable but not unique, since it was used in other Russian cars at the time, featured were the so-called side lamps, mounted on the C-pillars on some vehicles, something like the American opera lights. In 1975, it was planned to rename both M408 and M412 respectively as M2138 and M2140, primarily because AZELK was passing to 4-digit model codes, but also because of an earlier adaptation to the real M2140, which entered in production starting 1976. Therefore, the only difference between this model and its successor, at the time, was the engine change. The original 412 of 1967-69 had a chassis identical to that of the Moskvitch 408, which had been launched 3 years earlier in 1964. The only differences between 408 and 412 were the engines and the interior. This can be confusing, because there are no external differences between the two cars. After all, I was still the popular car in the USSR, and I don't want to be forgotten. This was Moskvitch 412. Have a nice day.